What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City live watch-along, where we're going to be watching Manchester City's game against Sporting Clube de Portugal in the Champions League away from home. Very difficult away game this for Manchester City, with a significant importance put onto this game as well. We'll digest all the talking points and have all the build-up ahead of what I'm hoping is going to be a wonderful evening for Manchester City. So before I do crack on with this stream, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. As you can see, we've smashed past 38,000 subscribers in the home stretch towards 40,000 subscribers. Now less than 2,000 subs away from that goal, so any help towards that, guys, would be much appreciated. And a big shout out to all of you guys for supporting my channel. 38,000, wow. I remember doing this a few years back. I was struggling to get past 6 subscribers, so to hit 38 is amazing, absolutely amazing. So thank you so much for that, guys, much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go check out my social media links. You can find them in the description or on the yellow banner too, if you want to go and search for me and follow me on my Twitter and Instagram. Email also in the description and on the yellow banner too, if you want to hit me up for any sponsorship for any videos or any general business inquiries. You guys know the rules. We're aiming for 100 likes. Smashed it on the last live stream, so thank you so much for that. Can we smash it on this one as well? Well, we're already into double digits, which is a good start when we're pushing for triple digits. 89 likes away from 100, so any help towards that would be great. And a big shout out to you guys that have already left a thumbs up on the stream before we've even got cracking. Love it. Thank you so much for that. Much appreciated. Also, don't forget as well to go and leave your thoughts in the live chat, including where you're tuning in from today and also what your score prediction is ahead of this game. Dave, thanks so much for tuning in. Says, tonight, it's not important as a result. A narrow defeat with no further injuries would be acceptable. I can't imagine Man City heading into this game thinking about defeat. They were thinking only about trying to win this game and picking up the 3 points. Big game this for Manchester City, mainly because you look at the schedule. We know we've got Feyenoord up next at the end of November in our next Champions League game. But go beyond that. I know Juventus aren't the team that they used to be, but playing them in Turin, not going to be easy. Follow that up with a game in Paris in January against PSG. Again, not as good as maybe what people think that they are, but certainly not going to be easy. And then a home game against Club Brugge to end the Champions League campaign. Not going to be easy for Manchester City at all. And what we don't want to do is to have 1 or 2 more bad results, because I've always said the aim for Man City's got to be 16 points. At the moment, we're on 7. It means we're 3 wins away. We can afford to lose this game. But if we do lose this game, it does mean we need to go to either Italy or France and win against Juventus or against Paris Saint-Germain. Now, as always, to me, the difficult games for this group were always going to be Inter at home, followed up by Sporting CP away, Juventus away, and PSG away. And it just so happens that Manchester City, starting today, our next 3 games in the Champions League out of 4, are away games against Sporting, Juventus and PSG, which does, to me, make today an important game. I'm not going to begrudge a draw. We could do with wins, though. A win today would be a huge stride towards Manchester City qualifying in them top 8 positions for the last 16 of the Champions League. What we don't want to do is finish between 9th and 24th, and we're going to a playoff and run the risk of not having progress into the last 16 of the Champions League, and also run the risk of, being the second seed for the last 16, because the top 8 teams, I'm going to presume, are going to be the top 8 highest ranked teams for the last 16 draw. So we want to be in the strongest position possible, and we could do that by finishing in the top 8. And have a look at the Champions League table, and Sporting CP are in the top 8 as a Manchester City. So tonight, not going to be easy. Ronald, thanks for tuning in, says, today is an important match. I do agree with that. Geffen, thanks for tuning in as well, says, we don't need to win the Prem. Let's go for the... There's some opinions out here today. There really is. Why settle for one or the other is what I say. Why not go for both? Champions League, the campaign's long, goes right on throughout the season. The Premier League's a marathon rather than a sprint. So we know what it takes to win both of these competitions. We know what it takes to win both of these competitions in the same season. We're still so early into the season. We know that Man City are always stronger in the second half of the season. So what we need to do is persevere, stick with it, get the results, keep grinding, keep pushing, see where we stand when it comes to a January, February time, assess the situation, make sure we're within touching distance of our aims for the season, and push on from there. Dalton, I'll come to your comment in a moment because it really made me smile. Kobe, let's go. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. True says, worried about City. Obviously, City needing to rotate a little bit more this evening. Continuing with more injuries. Everything's looking a bit deflated. There's lots of runners with Sporting CP. And today, not going to be an easy game because they're unbeaten so far this season. 10 games played in the top Portuguese division. 10 games won. They're very much in form. They know how to score goals. They know how to defend. They know how to stay unbeaten in the Champions League like they have in the first 3 games. So going to be quite difficult. So I can see why you'd be worried. I'm still confident we can get the dub though. City are treble winners. Thanks for tuning in. Says, come on City. Hope for a good 3-0 win today for Manchester City. That would be absolutely insane. Nadir, thanks for tuning in. Says, team looking decent. I think the midfield will be good tonight without having Ilkay Gundogan in the team. Geffin says, come on lads, let's turn it around starting now. And Kawami says, praying for the boys today in the hope that we can get a really good result. So thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. It is much appreciated. Now going back to Dalton and what you said, I said it really made me smile because I'll read the comment first. So he says, hey JSGC, I swear word, love you mate. You bring so much joy to my daily life. Thank you. So firstly, thank you for tuning in. It's me that's thanking you rather than you thanking me. I do this as a hobby. I just do this to keep you guys entertained and up to date with everything happening with Manchester City in the hope that I can bring along my charisma, my passion for football and passion for Manchester City, and we can all have a really good time. So when you say that I'm bringing so much joy to your daily life, brings me so much joy to hear that. It really is a wonderful thing because I'm not going to lie to you guys, last 4 to 6 weeks been a bit of a stretch. It's been hard work. I've struggled at times. And it's just been pretty difficult if I'm being completely honest with you guys. It's drained me. I've lacked a little motivation. I don't do YouTube full time. I do it part time on the side. I work full time. I do my job. I come here. I do this. It's relentless day after day after day after day. Football seasons are so long. I've been doing this now for 8 years. No real break sandwiched in there. And I think last 4 to 6 weeks have really been a struggle for me, and just lacked a little motivation, a little bit of a spark. So to hear you say that I'm bringing so much joy really does encourage me to keep me motivated, to continue to keep pushing on and keep doing the best that I can do. So Dalton, I really needed that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for that. Much appreciated, my friend. He also goes on to say, I think today's going to be a tough game. I think you're spot on with that. Says, against a strong Sporting side, but backing the boys, going with a score, both teams to score 2-1 victory for Manchester City. Love that. And I'm matching you with a 2-1 win for Manchester City as well. Rain, thank you so much for tuning in. Much appreciated. City fan 92 said, would be great to see you do a collab with LB. You up for it? Always up for it. Lewis has got my number. He follows me on the socials. It's just a message away asking for availability. And I'll be up for that. Good lad, Lewis. And Verico, thanks for tuning in as well. Cheering on Manchester City today. So, big shout out to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. You can go and check out their app. It's a free app to download. Anyone that does download SofaScore using my link in the description or the link in the live chat, I've also pinned it in the live chat as well, or using the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel, and it keeps these live streams coming for you guys. So I would appreciate anybody checking checking it out. It is a free app to download, very highly rated. They're going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest match scores, obviously, along with all the latest match information, match analysis, match statistics, and so much more. Not just limited to football, but all the sports that you guys love to follow. They're going to keep you up to date with all the scores and information. So do go and check it out. And I want to say a big thank you to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. And thank you so much to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Much appreciated. As I said, do go and check them out. Rain reckons going to be a draw today. Nadir going with Savinho to grab his first goal for Manchester City. That would be absolutely sensational. And City fan, thank you so much. Says you're a star, Jason. Keep doing what you do. Persevering. Said Man City have got to really persevere. Same when you're doing content creation. It's hard work. It is when you're not doing it full time. You're doing it as a passion on the side and having to find the time to do everything and the pressures and stuff that come along with it. I don't think some people realise just how much dedication and hard work goes into it. But I love doing it. So to see you guys responding so well to it does mean the world to me. So thank you so much, City fan. Much appreciated. So let's have a look then at today's teams because it is interesting. Firstly, I want to really speak about Simpson Pusey because he's going to be making his first start for Manchester City, making his Champions League debut today. And also looking potentially like one of the biggest, brightest upcoming sparks that City have got in their academy so far. So for a change, I'm going to speak about Manchester City and Jermaine Simpson Pusey really bringing the average age of the squad down today. Man City average age for their team at 25.3 years. I'm used to seeing it at 28 to 29. So as you can tell, the likes of Kyle Walker and Ilkay Gundogan, who are getting no younger, and I think a bit of the pace is starting to leave them. They're not starting, and City trying to go with fresher legs, which I think will really suit City, and also the big running game that I'm expecting to come in from Sporting Clube de Portugal. So City lining up today with a 4-2-3-1 formation, lining up with Ederson starting in goal after it was but believed that Stefan Ortega-Moreno was going to be starting. So I'm not too sure why Ederson's been given the nod ahead of Stefan Ortega, but here we are. That is the starting 11 for Manchester City. They're going with Ederson rather than Ortega. The back four made up of Rico Lewis, Manuel Akanji getting risk today, starting at centre-back alongside him, Jermaine Simpson Pusey, and you've got Josko Gvardiol starting on the left-hand side. Now, I'm expecting to see Rico Lewis push and provide further support into midfield. So the question is, will it be Manuel Akanji going to the right-hand side, or will it be Jermaine Simpson Pusey? And I reckon they'll go with Simpson Pusey moving to the right-hand side, and Akanji's going to go through the middle with Josko Gvardiol going on the left-hand side, mainly because we can see that Viktor Gyokeres starts for Sporting. He's very much in form. I think it's 57 goals in 59 games for him since joining Sporting from Coventry City in 2023. So Manchester City need to deal with that threat. So if we've got Rico Lewis pushing into midfield, he's going to be provided with support from Mateo Kovacic, and alongside him, he's got Bernardo Silva, big Benfica lad, taking on the arch nemesis Sporting CP. So he'll be well up for this game, and alongside him, you've got Philip Walter Foden. Out wide for City, you've got Brazilian international Savinho starting on the right wing. It's former Sporting CP lad Matheus Nunes starting on the left-hand side, and Erling Haaland starts up top for Manchester City. Very strong City team that. Obviously a bit of youth experience in there with Simpson Pusey making his Champions League debut and making his first start for Manchester City, which is fantastic to see. Also got the likes of Rico Lewis there coming in nice and fresh for this game. On the bench for Manchester City, bench looking much stronger now, which is really good to see, and City just starting to utilise some of the young players that they've got available to them as well, which is really good, helping to provide good, healthy competition from the substitute bench. So lining up with two goalkeepers, both Stefan Ortega, City's number 2, and Scott Carson, City's number 3. You've got Kyle Walker on the bench, Nathan Ake on the bench, Great to see JWE, Joshua Wilson-Esperand, on the bench. Not really seen too much of him. I was expecting to see more of him in the Carabao Cup. We didn't see him in Man City's third round match against Watford. We didn't see him in our defeat against Tottenham Hotspur away from home last Wednesday. Wondering where he was, because he's been playing in the elite development squad. We've decided not to loan him. He spent pre-season with City, and here he is on the bench now. And I'm hoping now that we might see more of JWE around the Manchester City first team squad. Also got Nico O'Reilly, Jacob Wright, and James McAtee. So more fit, healthy youngsters on the bench for Manchester City to help Manchester City with, as I said, my concern about the running game. You want quick players, fresh players, young players starting ahead of older players, slower players, and tired players. We've also got Ilkay Gundogan, Kevin De Bruyne, and Jeremy Doku on the bench as well, with Man City led by manager Pep Guardiola. And I imagine the likes of Jeremy Doku will be seeing coming from the bench should we need him at some point in the second half. Are we going to see any minutes from Kevin De Bruyne, or are we just putting him on the bench to have Kevin De Bruyne's presence around the first team and on the bench, rather than we're going to give him minutes? We didn't give him any minutes at the weekend in our defeat against Bournemouth, so are we going to see him get some minutes today? Is the question. Now, Sporting CP lining up with an average age of their squad of 24.6 years, lining up with a familiar 3-4-3 formation. They're led by manager Ruben Amorim. He is going to be Manchester United's manager from Monday onwards, so I expect Man United at some point in the foreseeable future for them to go to a 3-4-3 formation, and I imagine that Amorim will be wanting some players brought in, if not in January, then certainly in the summer, to try and adapt to play his style of play and to suit his formation. So you've got Israel starting for Sporting today in goal. You've got Debast, Diamonde, and restarting as their three centre-backs. You've got Coenda starting as their right wing-back, with Arujo starting as their left wing-back. You've got Hjulmand and Morita starting as their two central midfielders. And then I spoke about in my preview, where do the dangers lie? Well, out wide, Trincao and Goncalves are the two wingers today. Dangers, but the big danger starts up top. Viktor Gyokeres, the Swedish international striker, in the form of his life. I remember him playing for Coventry City, and I have no idea how he's gone from playing in the Championship and playing with Coventry City to lighting up the European League down in Portugal, lighting up the Champions League, and he's getting linked with some huge moves now in the upcoming January transfer market. Wouldn't surprise me with Amorim going in at Manchester United, with them maybe being interested in signing Gyokeres from Sporting. So we will see. Let's not forget that Man City also have a partnership in place with Sporting CP, and we're also nabbing their director of football, Hugo Viana, as well. So we do have our own associations with Sporting as well. Now, on the bench for them today, you've got Kovacic and Pinto as their two goalkeepers. They've also got San Justi, Quaresima, Fresnada, Simoes, Braganca, Estadio, Katamoa, Marcus Edwards, and Conrad Harder. They are missing Nuno Santos today. Manchester City got more absentees, missing long-term absentees of Oscar Bobb and Rodri, also missing Jack Grealish, John Stones, and Ruben Dias. So there we go. They are the teams. I'm sticking 2-1 Manchester City. I'm going Erling Haaland to score today. I'm going to go with Phil Foden to score today. And I reckon their striker Gyokeres scores as well for Sporting. They're my predictions. Do get your predictions in the live chat. That would be absolutely brilliant. Miles, thanks for tuning in. Says a little nervous, but I think Sporting pressing us will give Haaland that space that he never ever gets these days, and that will bring out the best in him. Do hope you're all right, my friend. Geffen reckons going to be a close one, going 2-1. I presume for Manchester City. City fans has been watching you with my lad for 5 years now. The daily transfer videos, really good. JSGC, well known in our house. Love to hear that. Thank you so much for the support. 5 years. 5 long whopping years. Love that. Transfer updates. January 1st, once more, the daily transfer videos will be back for you, for your lad, and everybody else to enjoy as well. City fan also reckons Kevin De Bruyne not coming on today, which I'm not entirely sure he's fit, so I don't think he will either, but we'll have to wait and see. Ivan says, how am I doing this evening? I'm doing very well. Bonfire night here in the United Kingdom. You might be hearing the odd bits of popping off going on. Don't worry, there's absolutely nothing happening, or at least I don't think there is. Hopefully not. Touch wood. Just people letting off fireworks to celebrate Bonfire Night. So if you're hearing any bits of crackling or explosions in the sky or what's not, that's what you can pick up in the background. It has happened a couple of times during the stream, and I'm expecting that to be a regular thing during the stream as well. Mario going 3-1 Manchester City. Love that. Do hope you are right. Grazzy, thanks for tuning in. Says, feeling positive about our young centre-back, of course. Simpson Pusey starting. So hopefully a good performance from him as the players make their way out of the tunnel and onto the pitch ready for today's game. So guys, don't forget, do leave a thumbs up. That would be great. We're now on 23 likes. We are 77 likes away from 100 likes. So any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Also, don't forget to check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. I'm going to roll my promo video whilst we have a bit of tifo come on offer to say obrigado, which is thank you in Portuguese, to Ruben Amorim. And you have the Champions League anthem play, so do feel free to boo along at home whilst I play the SofaScore promo video. And that is Sporting's farewell. It's Ruben Amorim's final home game in charge of Sporting CP. He will bow out on Sunday in their away game against Braga. Hence the big tifo saying thank you to Ruben Amorim. He'll have a point to prove. He will want to win his final game in charge in the Champions League and his final game in charge at home for Sporting CP today. So Manchester City need a good, strong performance. Rain, my day was very good. Thank you very much. I'm pleased to hear that you've had a good day as well. Philip, thanks for tuning in. Des, how are we feeling, Blues? Well, form's not great. You know, lost in the EFL Cup last midweek on Wednesday night against Tottenham Hotspur. 2-1. Was we too bothered about going out? Not really. I remember saying, not too bothered about going out as long as we win on Saturday. We didn't win on Saturday. We lost against AFC Bournemouth for 80 minutes. It was a very lacklustre performance from Manchester City. It was a very disappointing evening. However, Manchester City did manage to grab a goal, hit the post through Erling Haaland. Doku went close towards the end. There was plenty of bright sparks in that final 10 minutes where City, maybe I could suggest, could have come away with an undeserved point. We didn't. Got to deal with that. It's back-to-back losses. Here we are in the Champions League. 7 points from 3 games. Draw against Inter Milan, followed by a 4-0 win against Slovan Bratislava on the road and a 5-0 win against Sparta Prague at home in our last Champions League game. Sets us up really nicely for this game between Sporting CP and Manchester City. Sporting won a couple of games in the Champions League. It was Lille at home, and it was that Graz team from Austria that they beat away from home in the last game in the Champions League. Match day number 2 is the only points that Sporting have dropped in the competition, and that was a draw against PSV Eindhoven. I think that was 1-1 in the Netherlands. So both teams in fine form. Manchester City, if we was playing this last week, I'd say are in brilliant form. And you've got here a Sporting side who, in all competitions so far, haven't lost a single game this season. They've played 10 games in the top division and won all of them. Only game that they've lost Sporting this season has been against FC Porto in the Portuguese version of the Community Shield. So there we go. City fan, Bernardo Silva is captain for Manchester City today in Portugal. Seems rather fitting. Justin going for a 2-2 draw. Craig, thank you so much for tuning in. Wants to have it large tonight. Thanks for tuning in. And Stones, thanks for tuning in. Says, hey Jay, how are you doing, pal? I'm not too bad, my friend. How are you? Said, wouldn't it be better if Nunes is taken back to defensive midfield? I have some concerns about our defence, which thought we might see, but we haven't. Julia, hello. Thank you for tuning in. Much appreciated. Rain saying he reckons Haaland scoring 2 goals today. So we are going to observe a moment's silence. All Champions League games are observing a moment's silence this match day. This is in tribute to all of the victims who have been affected by the flooding that's been happening in Spain this week, which has caused devastation to the city of Valencia along the coast of Spain. So we're going to observe a very quick moment's silence. And impeccably observed with some pyrotechnics going on from Sporting. So, looks like we're just about ready for kickoff here. Looks like Manchester City playing in their home shirts today. Sky blue shirts, white shorts, and white socks. Attacking from left to right. With Sporting playing in their green and black shirts, black shorts, black socks. Attacking from right to left. And Sporting looking to try and get some atmosphere going inside the stadium as well. Whereas Manchester City just send it long and out for a goal kick to... No, it's taken a deflection off one of the Sporting players. I thought it went out for a goal kick. It's not gone out for a goal kick. It's a very early corner here for Manchester City, which Phil Foden is going to take. So, an early opportunity here for City to make something happen as a corner goes in. And early bit of defending for Sporting to do, but they managed to get their heads onto that and get it headed clear. As that'll go out for a throw-in to Manchester City. Why on earth is Noel Gallagher on commentary for TNT Sports today? Ridiculous. Here is Akanji then for Manchester City coming forward. So they have asked Simpson Poussey to go to the right-hand side. Long ball sent forward, cut off by Sporting. Manchester City can win the ball high up there and look to try and come forward. I think the one thing I'm pretty disappointed by in that game against Bournemouth was Manchester City just trying to settle into the game and not really taking the game to Bournemouth, which I could understand why with the patient build-up and Bournemouth wanting to come out of the blocks, but it was a bit slow and City never really put Bournemouth onto the back foot. City... First couple of minutes here, definitely trying to put Sporting onto the back foot. Just worked to Manuel Akanji. He's got the support on the left-hand side, including from Josko Gvardiol. Yeah, Philip, odd. Not too sure why they got Noel Gallagher, who's a singer, on commentary. I know he's a Manchester City fan and a celebrity fan as well, but on commentary? What? Anyway, here we go. Here is Simpson Poussey to Rico Lewis. Had the run of Savinho. I mean, who knows? Maybe if Noel Gallagher falls out with Liam Gallagher, the Oasis reunion doesn't work and he wants to give up the music career and take up a full-time sports commentator. He's got his opportunity today. Long ball comes forward towards Gyokeres. Cut off by Manuel Akanji. Simpson Poussey will give it to Kovacic. That's a lovely spread from Kovacic. And Matheus Nunes now cutting inside into the penalty area. Ball comes across looking for Erling Haaland. Defended well by Sporting and out for another corner to Manchester City. So guys, don't forget, please do leave a thumbs up. Now 70 likes away from 100. Don't forget to subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details there in the description. Rain, music, a bit of everything. Depends what mood I'm in. Yeah, a bit of everything, I'd say. Vary it up a little bit. I'd say normally we'd stick with, I wouldn't say heavy rock. I'd go light rock. I've seen the Killers, band from Las Vegas, a couple of times live. They were awesome, fantastic. Their album, Sam's Town, one of my favourite albums, but sometimes I'm in the mood for a bit of Pink Floyd. That's well won back. Here's Foden. Foden! Whoa, there we go! There we go! Phil Foden, 4 minutes in, Manchester City lead. Poor giveaway by Sporting, punished by Manchester City. We are back! Lovely, lovely stuff from Philip Walter Foden. Get the celebration in. Boom. Just what the doctor ordered. City lead here. I said Phil Foden was scoring today. 10 minutes ago. Poor giveaway from Sporting. Phil Foden takes a heavy touch. I don't know why the defender doesn't come to meet Foden. The space opens up and he just drills it with power. There might have been a better option of a pass to Matheus Nunes, but Phil Foden just wants to have a crack on his own. And there's nothing wrong with that. As long as your shots are hit low and hard and on target. It's always going to ask the question of the keeper. Keep it straight at him. I think he'd be disappointed with that. But an early lead for Manchester City, and we'll take that every day of the week. What we want to do now is keep pushing, see if we can grab a second. Andy, thanks so much for tuning in. Much appreciated just tuning in and giving us the look. It's exactly what we needed, my friend. So shout out to Andy for tuning in. Shout out to Alison as well. I presume that she's there as well. Emil, amazing. Julia getting in the pictures and the bow and arrow. It's the stuff that we love from Manchester City. Much, much better. I didn't mention it in the stream because I weren't sure what the answer was. I mean, Sporting won't be too used to going behind too many times this season. But I did mention it in my preview. And you've got a question here about how good's the Portuguese league. And this is the fascinating stuff about the Champions League. It gives you your answer about how good teams are. No disrespect to PSV and Lille and Graz, who Sporting have faced so far, but they're nowhere near the calibre that Man City have. So Sporting haven't faced a team anywhere near as good as Manchester City. So we don't know how good they are. Is there a gulfing difference? Are they going to give Manchester City a game? Are they capable of beating us? They are the questions. And at the moment, 6 minutes in, Manchester City have been the better team and deserve their lead. Great bit of pressing for the goal. Good finish from Phil Foden. And exactly what Manchester City needed. The boss is here. Alisson is there then. Shout out to Alisson. Here's City back into the penalty area. Falls nicely. Deflection! Wide. Good stuff from City. A good shot from Kovacic. Could have gone anywhere. And this is the power of having shots. Shots on target cause problems. You have shots, keeper might make a mistake, take a deflection. That could have gone anywhere. Good stuff. Corner. Headed clear only as far as Josko Gvardiol. He loves the rocket. He decides not to have a pop there, though. Rico Lewis, 40 yards out. But he was thinking about it. Rain, he's on north of £400,000 a week, as here is Sporting now. Big chance for them. Gyokeres one-on-one. Oh, he's missed. He's tried to lob Ederson. Surely you just slot that past the keeper, no? That should be 1-1. Rico Lewis with the poor giveaway, and that really should have been 1-1. Nice open game of football here. Here's Savinho. Oh, lovely from Savinho. Cuts inside. Can't find his pass. And Sporting are going to come away with it here. My ring light, I'm just going to move it ever so slightly because it's just slightly obstructing my view of the screen. Here's Akanji. Lovely drop of the shoulder from Foden. He's having a good game here, Foden, first 8 minutes. Savinho looks for Haaland. Finds Haaland. Lovely straight from Haaland. Deflection and save from the keeper. Oh, this is a game and a half, this. Lovely attacking game. The goals are not done yet. Erling Haaland goes close. Keeper has to make a one-handed save. Israel is starting in goal. Sky replay of the giveaway from Rico Lewis. A good pass forward. And I have no idea what Gyokeres was trying to do, trying to lob Ederson from there. But there we are. Anyway, here's Sporting's turn now to come forward. Overlap comes in. Chance for a ball to go into the box. A heavy touch comes in, and that should be defended out by Akanji and is. And that will be a goal kick for Manchester City. Good stuff, that from Andy. Good stuff. And Philip, it was a good shot from Erling Haaland. Julius, Saturday was bad. Deliberately bad. Maybe they're just trying to get the bad performances out of the way. We had something similar end of September into early October of last season as well. Get your bad spell out the way in the first half of the season and push on and be stronger in the second half and see what you come away with. Kouame, we could do with some more City goals. I don't think the goals are done just yet. It's about as an attacking first 10 minutes that I've seen from a game this season involving Manchester City. City trying to score, Sporting trying to attack and score. Two teams that are trying to play nice, positive attacking football. It's good to see. City could have been 2 up. Could have scored 3 goals. Sporting definitely should have equalised. At the moment, just Phil Foden shot the difference. City lead by 1-0 in Lisbon. Here is Rico Lewis then, coming forward for Manchester City. Bides by a challenge and City can just work it to Matheus Nunes on the left-hand side. And it's former Sporting man Matheus Nunes with the ball now. Gives the ball to Kovacic. Look at that. He's pinging balls like he's Pirlo. Savinho, lovely touch in the penalty area. Here's Savinho. Is he not pulled down there, referee? Rico Lewis manages to get a corner. Good stuff. That was a lovely ball from City. A Kovacic-Pirlo pass. Lovely control by Savinho. Good show of strength to get past the defender. He just couldn't guide it by. Weren't a penalty. It was an optimistic shout from me. But City's third corner of the game, and can we make it count? Phil Foden comes over. On the City attacking left-hand side. Haaland's in the box. Akanji's in the box. Simpson Pusey is in the box. Matheus Nunes is in there. Josko Gvardiol's flirting around the edge of the penalty area. It's a deep one. Beats everybody and out for a goal kick. Not the best of corners from Phil Foden there. Here's Sporting then just working it out from the back. Pass played into midfield and they can work it now to the right-hand side. And here's an overlap coming in. It's causing problems this for City. City are very stretched. A ball attempted to come in. The bounce is going to take it away from Sporting. And Rico Lewis is going to pick that ball up. Here's Kovacic to Rico Lewis. He didn't have a lot of space to work with, but he does ever so well and gets an outlet through Savinho, who is just going to turn and ensure that Man City keep hold of possession here. Foden dropping a little deeper. Under no real pressure from Sporting. He just coasts a pass to Akanji. Here is Simpson Pusey now. Kovacic to Akanji. Here's Bernardo. Not really seeing too much of Bernardo here. First 13 minutes or so. Gets a touch of the ball now. Captain for City today. Gives the ball to Josko Gvardiol. Here is Matheus Nunes. Oh, that's good work from Matheus Nunes. Centralises himself and gives the ball to Simpson Pusey to bring City forward. Here is Savinho. He plays another direct pass forward, looking for an overlap coming in from Matheus Nunes. And they try and play it off the legs of Matheus Nunes out for a goal kick, and he keeps the ball in. And City have got the ball back here in Sporting's final third. Here is Kovacic. Works it to the right. Nunes. To Phil Foden. Edge of the penalty area. Matheus Nunes has a touch. He tries to take his man on, and it's good defending from Sporting in the end. Get the tackle in, get the ball forward, find Gyokeres as well, and Sporting nearly come away with it. A bit messy in midfield from them. Rare, thanks for tuning in. Simpson Pusey to impress this season. It could well be. If you think back to João Cancelo and him not being given the opportunity back in January 2023, and we didn't have any options because of the Winter World Cup in Qatar in the back end of 2022, we were forced to give an opportunity to Rico Lewis, who hasn't really looked back, and we fast forward 1.5 seasons, and all of a sudden, he's now a regular at Manchester City, starting game after game after game, and Simpson Pusey through City being forced to look at the academy and bring in some of the best academy players that they've got available to them. Simpson Pusey, given an opportunity, gets 10 minutes at Spurs, he impresses. A week later, he's here starting against Sporting, and if he takes his opportunity, there could be more, as Haaland has a shot onto his weaker right foot, goes with pure power and flashes it wide, and there's an opportunity there for City to double their lead and get that killer 2-goal cushion. A lovely ball forward that from Matheus Nunes. He really means business this evening. Erling Haaland there takes it across his body, gets one touch with his thigh, and then just glances it and goes with pure power with no accuracy and into the stands. Vice, it could well be. I don't want to put too much pressure on the kid. He's only just turned, is he 18? Is he just turned 18 or has he just turned 19? I can't remember which. I think he just turned 18, correct me if I'm wrong. So he's got so much ahead of him. Today's not career defining for him, and I also don't want City to start saying, he's the best thing since sliced bread and putting so much pressure on him when we just simply don't need to do so. He'll mature and develop at his own pace, but a great opportunity for him up against a great striker in Gyokeres, and there's Simpson Pusey to make the interception for Manchester City. Philip, I've not got commentary out loud, as I can't hear what Noel Gallagher's saying, or not saying, I presume you're making there. He's not saying anything. So Sporting wanted a penalty off Simpson Pusey, as the ball struck his hand as he was defending, but it was deemed in a natural position, so deemed not a penalty kick. As header comes in from Manchester City and out for a throw-in to Sporting midway inside the Manchester City half here. So guys, don't forget, do leave a thumbs up now. 15 likes away from 50, so any help towards that would be great. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. Vice, it would be good to see more of the young players being given opportunities. I've not really understood, whilst we've been struggling over the last week for players' fitness, why we've not been giving more and more minutes to the younger players. They're fresh and good to go. Emil said Milan's just scored away at Real Madrid. And Dave says Carrick can stay. I presume Middlesbrough are winning. City fan Simpson Pusey looking good for City so far. Good mop-up goalkeeping from Ederson there. Just put the ball out for a throw-in for Sporting, which has been worked back all the way towards the edge of their own penalty area. Yeah, have got a bit of space to work with here on the left. Just choosing to knock the ball around and pass it round at the moment. So Manchester City just trot over to their left-hand side, and direct ball forward comes in, dealt with by Manuel Akanji. Wanted to show his experience. Pep Guardiola, big praise for Akanji in the summer, said he was the best centre-back, best defender, he said, at the European Championships in Germany. So big praise for Akanji. There was some question marks over his fitness for today's game. I'm going to presume that maybe Akanji doesn't start our next game against Brighton due to that risk, perhaps. But we're not having Ruben Dias and John Stones not available at the same time means we're pretty limited. So if he's not going to start, I imagine they'll go with Simpson Pusey once more, and maybe Nathan Ake would be the other option. But he's only just come back from injury, Ake, so City, I don't think wanting him to do too many games when he doesn't necessarily need to, as Bernardo Silva works it to his Portuguese teammate Matheus Nunes. Here's Kovacic now. He's just being forced backwards, and Akanji just going to go all the way back to Ederson. 19 minutes in. 1-0. Manchester City lead thanks to a goal after 4 minutes from Phil Foden. Kouame, we could do with the assurance of a second goal. The game's just started to settle itself in after a bit of a frantic first 10 minutes as Simpson Pusey sends it down the channel looking for Erling Haaland. He's brought to the ground, wrestled to the ground, and referee says that will be a free kick for Manchester City. It was Diomande with the challenge on Erling Haaland. He goes down, and City can have a free kick just inside their own half, which is worked to the left. Here is Josko Gvardiol, one of City's best performers so far this season, in my opinion, coming forward. Gives the ball to Nunes, another real bright spark that we've had over the last few weeks. Akanji now to Rico Lewis. Here is Kovacic. He's been pinging the balls like Pirlo so far this evening. Really doing a good job in that defensive midfield role. Here is Matheus Nunes, and I think he might have just drifted offside. He's not managed to look across the line, maybe. Was he onside there? Oh, keeper in all kinds of bother, under pressure from Haaland, and he does enough. In the end, Sporting just going to send that as far away from their goal as possible. They managed to even get a flick on from Gyokeres, and a good bit of football there from Akanji to read the situation, take the control and move the ball as well. Sporting survive that. As that should be kept in, and City do well. They can't get the ball fully into the box. It takes a deflection. Savinho will pick that up though, and he'll just knock it over to Josko Gvardiol, and City will settle for having a bit of possession once more. Here's Akanji then. City got everybody inside the Sporting half. 21 minutes in. City are moving the ball well. Ah, it's another good ball, and here's Matheus Nunes then, on the left. He's got a bit of support from Bernardo Silva if he wants to use him. He will use him. Josko Gvardiol now to Matheus Nunes. He finds a ball to Rico Lewis. He just tries to thread a pass into Haaland. Here is Savinho. He goes for a shot deflected and out for a corner. Savinho looks a bit frustrated. Araujo it is getting into the right place at the right time to find that block. Acres of space there, Savinho. I think he'll be disappointed not to test the keeper at least. He'll be thinking to himself, he's joined City, he wants goals and assists on a regular basis. It's November now, still waiting for his first City goal. A corner comes in and a header won by Josko Gvardiol, and that is a goal kick. Yeah, header comes off Josko Gvardiol last. Doesn't know much about it. We do seem more alert. It seems like City have prepared properly for this game. I wonder if maybe... That was very aggressive from Simpson Pusey to win the ball. Wrestle the ball even off Gyokeres. But it seems like Man City have just got an extra spring in the step. I wonder if Pep's just given them a bit of a rollicking, and because of that, maybe Man City haven't had a full day of rest. There's been an extra day of preparation instead. But definitely City look a little sharper. But got to be wary of these counter-attacks here. Once more are Sporting coming forward, and City now looking very stretched. And Akanji's been forced out wide. So Simpson Pusey's just got to centralise himself. And thankfully the ball into the box isn't very good. And it's cut off well by Josko Gvardiol. Good bit of defending that from City. And City now can come forward. It's probably the sharpest I've seen from City since August, when was playing just once a week. And I'm putting it down to a good bit of rotation with the likes of Rico Lewis and Kovacic. So players have had rest at the right time. We've got players just coming back from injury, so they've not had that many minutes. As Savinho plays the ball across, and is real Nearly gets that all wrong and goes out for a corner in the end in what should have been a comfortable collection. So I just wonder if that's just contributing to City looking a bit fresher, and all of a sudden, you take out Kyle Walker and Gundogan, older players who are losing their pace, and putting in fresh young players instead, and you just look a step quicker. Rico Lewis is 20, 21 years old. Kyle Walker's, I think, 33. You got Simpson Pusey in there, that's 18, 19 years old. Refreshing to see. Corner comes in, not the best, and headed back out for another corner to Manchester City. So City doing a good job here of keeping Sporting on the back foot. Could really do with the assurance of a killer second goal here. Foden, not the worst of balls in, dealt with in the end by the keeper. Andy, Oscar Bobb is working, doing light work. He's recently been in the UAE. Doing some press stuff for Manchester City. I think he is on track to return when he needs to return, which I think City are aiming for a January return for him, which I think is a realistic aim. I imagine City will just want to ease him back in over the next 4 to 6 weeks. Keeps him right on track for end of December to probably ready to resume full training. Probably have 2 to 3 weeks of full training. Get him through the festive period, get us into January and see where we go from there. Emil says, don't know if anyone cares, but Real Madrid have scored from the penalty spot. 1-1 in their game against AC Milan. It's a shame City are playing at the same time as some interesting games. I know Liverpool's got Leverkusen, and I'd quite like to watch how Leverkusen do against Liverpool. A good test for Xabi Alonso. But obviously sticking with watching Cities, that's a good through ball from the Pirlo of Manchester City this evening. Kovacic to Savinho puts a ball in for Erling Haaland, dealt with by Sporting. It needed the height. It didn't have the height there, and comfortable defending in the end from Sporting. Anyway, we're more than halfway through the first half. City lead by 1-0 thanks to an effort after 4 minutes from Phil Foden. We've seen Erling Haaland go close. But Man City not managed to find that all-important second goal as Simpson Pusey misses his header there, and thankfully Akanji was alert to it. Here's Bernardo. He's dropped deeper now. We saw Foden doing it before. Here's Kovacic to Foden. I mean, if City can continue like this, and we have all these players fit and raring to go again, and we win this game, I don't think I'd change anything for the Brighton game at the weekend. That should be a corner for City, and it is a good tackle from Sporting there on Phil Foden. I think it's probably the most energetic City have looked in a couple of months. So yeah, I think against Brighton, this is what I'd be going with if City can pull off a win today and keep everyone injury-free. Phil Foden making a right nuisance of himself. Corner. It's deep. Header. Oh, right across the face. A goal from Erling Haaland. He just needed somebody at the back post just to peel off and nod it home. Good work from Erling Haaland. Unlucky for Manchester City. Sporting are getting tired and not seeing much of the football. They're a team that like possession. City, I feel like the game's here for City if they want it. They just need to put their opportunities away. I don't want us to come back at the end of this game and we've dropped points and we're coming back saying, oh, if only City had put these opportunities away. Saw several times, in particular last season, Man City being a bit guilty of not putting away their opportunities and dropping points when they really shouldn't have been dropping points. So we don't want that to happen at any point this season. Just got to keep going. Something will give. City all over this at the moment. It's been domination for City for 28 minutes, yet still on the counter-attack. They've gone very close Sporting before. Andy, I've got a feeling the second's coming pretty soon. Here's Josko Gvardiol to Matheus Nunes. He's driving, wants to get into the penalty area. Nearly got intercepted, managed to keep the ball. Here is Kovacic now to Phil Foden, back to Kovacic. Here's Josko Gvardiol. Oh, he gives the ball away. It's poor from Manchester City, and that's cut off by Manuel Akanji. Here's Kovacic to Foden, back to Kovacic. Here's Akanji now to Foden, Kovacic. Here's Simpson Poussey, comes forward, bursts forward here for City. To Rico Lewis. Can he thread a pass through? He can't. And he nearly gets intercepted, but he's somehow managed to keep the ball as space was opening up for Kovacic. Here's Savinho now. It's good work from Sporting. Really good defending. City, I think, are they asking for a penalty? Never. Good defending from Sporting. Really good defending. Just get a replay of Haaland's ball across. I mean, not too sure what City were asking for there from the referee. Savinho got out-muscled. I mean, he's a technically very gifted player. He has some adapting to do, in my opinion, in terms of his physicality when it comes to playing in not just the Premier League and in England, but playing in the Champions League as well. Defenders want to ensure that their presence is known, as Phil Foden just drops a ball to Haaland. He gets a clean connection on the volley. And Israel hasn't looked too convincing so far. Makes a very convincing save there. Good hit from Haaland. Keeper will be thankful it weren't to his side, and it was a comfortable height and a comfortable range for him to make the save, as Kovacic does so well for City, and that should be a free kick for a foul on Savinho. And here's as the players are just trying to get the fans to get behind them. As I said, City could really do with a second goal, I feel. So guys, don't forget, do leave a thumbs up, do subscribe if you're new around here, and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Links and details, they are in the description. It's not an easy save that for the keeper. It takes an awkward bounce in front of the keeper. Good clean connection from Erling Haaland. As I was saying before, what's important is Man City ensure that when they're having shots, the shots are on target. You ask the question of the goalkeeper. They have done that, and they've done that pretty well here in the first half. Unfortunately, to no avail. And that ball just too far beyond Matheus Nunes. So it goes out of play for a throw into Sporting, and Sporting will look to build up from the back. They push forward here. They've got space on their left-hand side, which they use. So Rico Lewis having to drop into and make it a back four for City, as a through ball comes in looking for Gyokeres and Gyokeres, how you pronounce that? I'm not sure. Odin, thanks for tuning in. It is much better than the game against Bournemouth from Manchester City. It's been a good 32 minutes. And whilst we're on top, I feel like we could do the assurance of a second goal. What I don't want the team to do is get to like the 50, 60 minute mark, start to look jaded and tired, and it's still 1-0 and we get punished by Sporting. So whilst we're on top and looking good and looking sharp, make it count, get that killer 2-goal cushion in, and all pressure over to Sporting from there, and they're going to have to overcommit to try and get back into this game. Here is Matheus Nunes. That has to be the game plan for Manchester City. At the moment, they'll consider it being a really good 33 minutes, which it has been. But I agree with what Odin said. You've got to take advantage, and what Rain's saying as well. We need to score. While we're on top, got to put your chances away. It's a poor giveaway by Sporting. Here is Matheus Nunes. He just can't shake off the initial press from Gyokeres, and City nearly give the ball away, but they do well here to find Savinho in the penalty area, and a deflection comes in again. A good block. Once again, Man City kept hold of the ball pretty well. Here's Rico Lewis. Lovely pass from Foden into Bernardo Silva. They know where he wants to go. He goes down, and a goal kick for Sporting. Andrew says much better temp than last weekend's fiasco, shall we say. Says very open game, but need to make the chances count. I think you're absolutely spot on there. Tempo from City has been much better. I mean, less said about the weekend also, the better. Again, it's just very physical defending from Sporting. I don't think it's a penalty. Ball comes forward from Israel. It's a very flat forward ball, looking for Gyokeres. He gets a touch on it, but goes straight out of play for a throw-in. I wonder if Man City might be tempted to chuck, maybe make a couple of changes at half-time just to try and keep the squad fresh. And if you are, who would you chuck on? I think I'd be going for Jeremy Doku. And Matheus Nunes has played so much at, I'd put Jeremy Doku on that left-hand side just because why not? In an ideal world, where I'd say give Kevin De Bruyne 45 minutes, see how he's responding, but I don't think he's that fit. So, if not him, where do you go? Ake, if you're looking at a defender. McAtee, midfield maybe, O'Reilly or somebody. Emil, I'm afraid I don't know the answer. I was expecting Ortega to start, so when Ederson's name was announced, I was surprised. I don't know why. I thought it'd been announced yesterday that Ortega was started. I don't know if he's maybe got a bit of discomfort and doesn't want to start this game, or I don't know. Oh, lovely flick. And shot comes in, it's just wide. Bernardo Silva it was with the effort. Just wide of the post, and it's a good opening that for Manchester City. Again, and a chance for a killer second goal, just not come about. John, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Sidda, thanks for tuning in. Says City are extremely lucky because they're playing against Ruben. I presume you're on about Amorim. I won't say that we're being lucky. Yeah, Gyokeres should have scored, but City have dominated this game. I think City deserve to be ahead. I think City have been the far better team. Oh, it's another great through ball. Gyokeres is in. Simpson Pussey, what can he do? Not a lot. 1-1. There's the equaliser. They threatened it just after City scored. He couldn't get his chip right. He gets his chip right this time. And I've said for the last half an hour, City have got to score again whilst they're on top. They haven't. And it's 1-1. To be fair, all game, that through ball's been threatened. They've just got to get it right. The through ball just dissects Manchester City's defence. Simpson Pussey is the one that's trying to put Gyokeres under pressure, but a striker is in form as Gyokeres. You're going to struggle, and he gets that extremely correct. And a team as in form as Sporting, you're just going to get them opportunities, and it's rather than me poking at the defence, I'm looking more towards the attack, and I'm thinking there's been chance after chance after chance to grab that killer 2-goal cushion, and they've been punished for not finding it. If Man City want to defend and win this game, the way you do that is through attacking and scoring goals. Here is Mateo Kovacic. Here is Manuel Akanji to Simpson Pusey. And he's brought down by Gyokeres. Here's Akanji then bringing City forward to Bernardo Silva. I think City just look a bit shell-shocked. City just need to try and focus themselves, see if they can just knock the ball around for a couple of minutes, regain the mojo, and push up from there. Here's Matheus Nunes to Phil Foden. He gets a bit of space, drives into that space. He's not got a right foot, so he's got to go backwards. That's given away from City, and it's a 3-on-2. That through ball, it's going to come. It's going to come. And there's the shot from Sporting, and it's over the top of the crossbar. Just couldn't quite get it right. Anderson, thanks for tuning in. I think you're spot on. Got to make your chances count, and they haven't. City need to... I agree with what Erling Haaland's saying there. Get forward, push forward. Push forward. City have just taken the foot off the gas, and it's allowing Sporting a little outlet into the game. So there's a case of just stay in. That's a great effort from Matheus Nunes, and it's a good save from the keeper. He's scrambling there because he doesn't know where the ball's going. He doesn't know if he's got enough on that to get it over the top of the crossbar. It's a good effort. What can City do from this set piece? I think the last corner that we had was the one that Erling Haaland had the header go across goal. Foden takes, near post, punched clear by the keeper, and a free kick given against Manchester City there. These set pieces. These set pieces. Celtic a level against Leipzig, 1-1. Israel sends that long for Sporting. Simpson Pusey gets his foot onto it. City scrambling in midfield, can't get the ball. Sporting looking for a bit of space, being put under pressure from Josko Gvardiol. He's going to do well just to force Sporting backwards. Long ball sent forward once more by Sporting, cut off by Manuel Akanji. Josko Gvardiol comes sprinting back, because Matheus Nunes just had to dip into his position whilst he burst forward there. Akanji then to Foden. Here's Kovacic. Rico Lewis. That's a poor pass from Rico Lewis. Too much on that, well beyond Savinho, and out for a throw-in. So everything's gone how I said it would. I said Foden was scoring today. I said Gyokeres was scoring today. I said 2-1 Man City. Haaland scoring. So there we are. Heard it here first. Morata puts AC Milan ahead against Real Madrid. Sporting move it from left to right. Through ball played. Should be cut off by Akanji, and is. Pass from Ederson finds Josko Gvardiol. Lovely step over from Josko Gvardiol, and he ensures that City can have possession and City can come forward. Here is Rico Lewis then to Savinho. Trying to cut inside, looking for a bit of support. Foden dropping a little deeper. We could do with just someone just staying directly behind Haaland. Here's Matheus Nunes. To Josko Gvardiol. Oh, lovely pass into his Croatian teammate Kovacic. Back to Josko Gvardiol once more. Here's Matheus Nunes now. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Don't forget, guys, do leave a thumbs up. 7 likes away from 50. Do subscribe and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScorers. Passes too much on that to find Bernardo Silva. That will go out of play. That'll take us into the final minute of normal time. Are we going to have anything added on? We had a couple of goals, so we should have something added on. Thing is, Champions League, sometimes they don't add things on. So we will see if we get any additional time. If not, then that might be that for the first half. At the moment, nothing separating these two sides. Sporting CP 1, Manchester City 1. Phil Foden scoring after 4 minutes before Gyokeres finding the equaliser after 38 minutes for Sporting. Here is Savinho for Manchester City winning the ball back from that goal kick. Ping-ponging around that ball. Man City managed to get the ball in the end. And a bit of luck on this side. Here is Manuel Akanji then to Kovacic. Got a run here of Savinho. Has he kept himself on side is the question. The flag hasn't gone up. So linesman says yes, onside. Cross comes in, cleared. Kovacic will win the header. He'll head that back to Simpson Pusey. He can't play his pass forward at the first time of asking. The second time of asking, he can. Kovacic is late, and that will be a free kick for Sporting and a yellow card for Kovacic there. Simpson Pusey just trying to find his pass there, and it's just a bit slack from the young lad. Caused the problem there for City, not once but twice, and it's led to Kovacic having to dive in and pick up a yellow card. Seamus, what do I think of Gyokeres? A good striker. I can't help but feel like he's Coventry City's striker. But good in front of goal. Powerful. Reads the game pretty well. He's obviously not going to displace Erling Haaland at Manchester City. So we're into the first minute and the only minute that's been added on here. Here is Savinho, last chance of the half. Can he get a bit of magic here? Because time is running out. 6 seconds for Man City to do something here. Phil Foden, though, can't make anything happen. And the referee will bring an end to the first half. An entertaining first half between Manchester City and Sporting CP. Sporting struggled to settle themselves into the game first 10 minutes. It was very much all about Manchester City being the better team, creating the better opportunities, grabbing that opening goal with Phil Foden. City didn't push on to grab that all-important, crucial second goal, that 2-goal cushion that we're looking for. As the game's gone on, Sporting have grown into the game and obviously had that big opportunity through Gyokeres right at the start of the game, just after City had scored. He missed, didn't make any mistake in a similar position for the equaliser after 38 minutes. I think we know that Sporting have got them dangers going forward, in particular on the counter-attacks, and Manchester City do need to be weary about that threat, whilst continuing to try and play the game and score goals, because ultimately, I mean, Sporting are a good side. I'm not going to begrudge a point today. I just feel like from what I've seen in that first half, I mean, second half, excuse me, it might be different, but first half from what I've seen, I think Man City have been the better team. And if this was after 90 minutes with how we've played, I'd be pretty disappointed, because I feel like the 3 points were there for Manchester City if we want them. So, second half, tighten it up a little bit at the back. Don't be scared to make subs sooner rather than later to keep things nice and fresh. Keep pushing. See if we can get that all-important second goal from this game for us, of course. So, I reckon if there is another goal in this game, I think next goal wins this match. So, I'm going to use today's video sponsor, SofaScore. I'm going to go through the half-time statistics for you guys. So, I would appreciate any of you guys checking out SofaScore. You can find the links and details. They are in the description. SofaScore are going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest scores. They're going to keep you guys as I go around the grounds in just one moment. They're going to keep you up to date with the latest match information, along with the latest statistics, team news, and all your good footballing needs. Not just limited to football as well. It's got you covered for all the sports that you guys love to follow, all in one place, all in one app. Very highly rated. It is free to download, and anyone that does download using my link in the description, or the link in the live chat, or the QR code on screen, does help to support the future content created here on my channel. Going to roll my promo video, and then we're going to have a look at them statistics. Thank you very much to SofaScore then for sponsoring this video. So let's have a look at the statistics. Manchester City dominating the possession. 74% possession for Manchester City so far this evening in the first half. Just 26% for Sporting CP. But both got a pretty good expected goal rate. Sporting at 0.76 and Manchester City at just under 1 at 0.97. Sporting have mustered up 2 big opportunities, putting one of them away. Manchester City mustering up 1 big opportunity and of course managing to find the goal as well together. Now, Manchester City have managed 11 shots in total from this game, with Sporting managing 3 shots in total so far from this game. 2 shots on target from Sporting. One of them's been the goal. The other was the big save made from Ederson. So when the opportunities have come about for Sporting, they have been big opportunities for City. There were 11 shots from the dominating possession that they're having. Less than half of them on target, and also coming away with just 1 goal shows that Man City just quite simply haven't been clinical enough in this game. And to me, I think the gap between midfield and striker, in particular towards the second half of that first half, was a bit too big for my liking. And I'd like to see Manchester City try and counter that by asking Phil Foden to stop dropping deeper and ask Bernardo Silva to do it, or ask Foden to drop deep and have Bernardo Silva push further forward. Don't have both of them dropping deeper. Don't have miscommunication. Drop one deeper and send one further forward to support Erling Haaland, because at the moment just looks like there's a little bit of a gap, and with Matheus Nunes and Savinho, I'm a bit weary that them 2 players could potentially get quite isolated. So for me, I want to see Manchester City just trying to shore things up a little bit. I think I agree with SofaScore's rating. At the moment, if you're looking at City's weakness, seems to be coming from defence, and you're looking at that right-hand side with the inexperience of both Rico Lewis and Jaime Simpson-Poussey. That's the direction that I'd be looking at if I was Sporting. So I just wonder maybe at some point in the second half whether Manchester City might be tempted to maybe chuck on either Kyle Walker or Nathan Ake to try and shore things up at the back and just try and build up from there. I think City may want to also be quite wary of Mateo Kovacic yellow card late on in the first half, because City end up going down to 10 men, and this becomes a very, very difficult game. So they're my thoughts. Do get your thoughts in the comments. That would be much appreciated. So, going to go around the grounds, guys. Let's have a look first at the Champions League. We had a couple of first full-time scores. PSV Eindhoven 4, Girona 0, that's full-time. And Slovan Bratislava 1, Dinamo Zagreb 4 is also full-time. Rest of the scores at half-time: Bologna 0, Monaco 0, Borussia Dortmund 0, Storm Graz 0, Celtic 2, RB Leipzig 1, Lille 1, Juventus 0, Liverpool 0, Bayer Leverkusen 0, Real Madrid 1, AC Milan 2, and Sporting CP 1, Manchester City 1. Sympathy, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Doesn't like the high line, says it's freaking him out. Taylor, thanks for tuning in, says the fall of Silva and Gundo should be studied. They look like shells of their former selves. Good point. Good point. Bernardo Silva, I think, just looks a little isolated for my liking. I think he thrives when everybody else around him's also thriving. I feel that's when you really get the best out of Bernardo Silva. And at the moment, the midfield lacks some confidence. But I might be wrong, but you chuck someone like Kevin De Bruyne with experience who oozes class and confidence, might just help Bernardo Silva to push him on. But I agree with Gundogan. His legs look gone, and with how physically demanding the Premier League is, you lose your pace, then you're going to be struggling, because the league's just not slow enough to cope. Leagues like Serie A and La Liga, you can cope with losing your pace. You can play, in my opinion, until your late 30s, even into your 40s in Spain. Not going to happen in England, though, and certainly not in the Premier League. Bertrand, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Taylor says, my dad used to do drugs. Can always change your lives around. You most certainly can. It's all about wanting change is what I find. Anyway, just heading round the grounds, got some games taking place in England as well. Bristol City 0, Sheffield United 0, Oxford 0, Hull City 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Middlesbrough 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Norwich 0, Plymouth 0, Portsmouth 0, and Swansea City 1, Watford 0. In League One, Burton 0, Crawley 0, and Stockport County 0, Wickham 3. And you also got some games taking place in the Bristol Street Motors Trophy. Full-time scores, Northampton 3, Leicester City under-21s 0, Cheltenham 1, Reading 0, Peterborough 4, Crystal Palace under-21s 1, Swindon 2, Tottenham Hotspur under-21s 1, and nearly full-time in the 98th minute, Cambridge United 1, Chelsea under-21s 0. So there you go. You guys are all up to date. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is much appreciated. I've noticed now that we have just hit 50 likes. We're halfway to our like goal of 100 likes, so any help towards that would be great. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, don't forget to go and check out my social media links. They're in the description or on the yellow banner too if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description as well if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And don't forget to go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SoberScore. And finally, going to give a shout out to my partner channel, Mixid. He's going to be providing today's halftime entertainment for you guys to enjoy. So sit back, relax, kick your feet up, and I'll see you ready for the second half. This is the Disaronno Sweet and Sour Cocktail.
What's going on, guys? Mixid here, back again for another cocktail video, and today's cocktail, guys, is the Disaronno Sweet and Sour, and I will show you guys how to make it. So first of all, get your glass and fill it with crushed ice. Put that to one side, grab your shaker, and now let's put the first ingredient, which is 60ml or 2 ounces of Disaronno. Next ingredient is 1 ounce or 30ml of fresh lemon juice. And last but not least, 30ml or 1 ounce of Cointreau or triple sec. Now give it a good hard shake, 8 to 10 seconds, get nice and chilled. Now straight into your cocktail glass filled with crushed ice. Now garnish with a cherry. And there we go, one Disaronno Sweet and Sour. How does it taste? Quite delicious actually. Because whenever I have Disaronno, it always has that Bakewell taste tart, because it has that tarty taste that I just like about it with the amaretto, because it's beautiful. Because it's certainly quite a nice drink, because I would recommend it, because it's a nicely balanced with the lemon juice and the triple sec balancing each other out, so that's why you get the sweet and sour taste out of it. But I'd recommend, if you're an amaretto lover, then I'd recommend the Disaronno Sweet and Sour. It is a drink for you. But that, guys, is the Disaronno Sweet and Sour, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mixid for more cocktails like this. Any cocktail recommendations, do let me know in the comments below, Because we are approaching 700 subs, so thank you very much as we are getting close to our goal of 1,000 subs. So appreciate all your help and thank you for your support. But that is a Disaronno sweet and sour, and I will see you guys for the next cocktail video. Cheers. Right, so put your lid on and now give it a good hard shake, 8 to 10 seconds, get nice and chilled. A bit too hard of a shake.
We all like a mixed outtake, don't we? Rightio then, that's all our half-time sorted and done. We're just waiting for the players to make their way back onto the pitch, and we'll be good to go for the second half. A big second half coming up for Manchester City. I think it's really important we don't lose this game. If we could win this game, that'd be a huge confidence boost. Really would. You know, back-to-back losses, you don't want to make it 3 losses in a row. You don't want to make it 3 games in a row that we've not won either. And we can't escape from the fact that 45 minutes time, it will be Man City preparing for their next game against Brighton and Hove Albion in the Premier League, away from home. Not going to be easy at all, so we've really got to prepare ourselves, whilst also managing the team and managing the squad. A very important little phase of the season, this, for Manchester City. It's not often I get done for half-time. I'm normally scrambling to get done for half-time and get everything sorted, but been very, very much on it here today. Organised, which is very un-JSGC-like, but here we are. Rightio then, players making their way back out of the tunnel, ready for the second half. Sporting are going to be the team that get us underway here for the second half. Players very much in position now, so just waiting for the referee to blow the whistle, and we're good to go for the second half. It's going to be Gyokeres that's going to get us underway. Sporting attacking from left to right, with City attacking from right to left. Doesn't look like either team have made any changes at half-time, so both teams sticking with the same side from the first half for now. Wonder how long it'll be before both sides start to dip into the bench, and if they do, who's it going to be that comes on? What changes would you guys make? Do let me know in the chat. Still waiting for the referee's discretion to get this second half underway, and eventually we do have kickoff, and Sporting getting us underway, just working the ball backwards. Alright, here's Sporting then just coming forward on the left-hand side, and already beaten the initial press from Manchester City, and a through ball comes in. There's a big chance here, 2-1. 20 seconds into the second half, and Sporting are ahead. Manchester City go to sleep and are punished by one of the most informed sides in Europe. Manchester City, having led in the first half, are behind in the second half. Disastrous start to this half from Manchester City. Caught napping big time there. From kickoff, 20 seconds, it's all it took. That is poor defending from City. Just acres of space to work with. City just all over the place. A good clinical finish into the back of the net. It's Rougeau with the goal through the legs of Ederson and into the back of the net. So good football goal that by Sporting, but so disappointing from Manchester City. And I think Ederson will be really disappointed that he's beaten by an effort that just goes straight under his legs. Now Manchester City now have their own kickoff, and City need to reply and quick. It's a ball that's given away, and all of a sudden Manchester City are in the same position as what Sporting were in the first half, where we need to try and... Oh, he's given a penalty. He's given a penalty. How is that a penalty? Josko Gvardiol goes shoulder to shoulder with him. He goes down and he's given a penalty for Sporting. How is that a penalty? I'm sorry, no way. Absolutely not. How on earth in the first half can you give no fouls for Manchester City in the penalty area with coming together with how physical the game is? That challenge is no different to any of the challenges that came in from the Sporting defenders on the City attackers in the first half. And I said there were strong challenges, nothing wrong with them, never a penalty. That's never a penalty. Never ever a penalty. There's a disgraceful decision. Sorry guys, I don't normally get too upset by things, normally quite rational, but that is not a penalty. Gyokeres then, with a chance here to put Sporting 3-1 up, and in the space of 3 minutes, Manchester City have self-imploded. Could really do with him missing and Ederson making a save here. 3-1. Never, ever, ever a penalty, that. Sorry, guys. Never a penalty. Absolutely horrific officiating. Manchester City now, I said at a point from the position that we're in, shouldn't be happening, but I'm sorry, but Pep's got to be making them changes. He's got to be chucking everybody on. Doku, De Bruyne, you throw them on, you take your defenders off. You know, with 3-1, we may as well lose this game 6-1 than lose 3-1. It's never ever a penalty, that. We should have been out of sight in the first half. We should have been scoring 2 or 3. We weren't. Self-destructed ourselves. And we've got ourselves to blame here. We looked really good in the first half. Gone to sleep here first 3 minutes of the second half. And it's just absolutely imploded themselves. And Sporting are coming forward again. I don't get why are players not warming up? Why are you not overcommitting right now? No, I start taking defensive players off. I start throwing Doku and Kevin De Bruyne on. You've got to, that 10-minute spell we had against Bournemouth, that quick cameo where you forced Bournemouth to be defending right on the edge of their own penalty area because defending's not their forte. You have them where you want them to be, scrambling. And right now, City could really do with a 10-minute cameo where you force Sporting onto the back foot and you hope and pray that in that 10 minutes you can scramble a couple of goals to salvage something from this game. Because right now, with how things are going for Manchester City, Sporting score again, this game's done. Manuel Akanji's gone down injured for Man City. Now, this is it's another game where we have a horrific 5 minutes. Is it bad luck, or are we just not managing games properly? I know Tottenham away in the Cup, Bournemouth away in the Premier League, and Sporting away in the Champions League aren't easy games. I don't expect to be losing 3 games in a row, though. They're not easy. But Sporting here in the first 6-7 minutes of the second half have made City look so ordinary. You see, Julie, I'm not sure it's complacency from City. I think it's just Man City don't know how to deal with it. I don't think Pep has the answers right now. I don't think the players have the answer. I blame the poor bits of business we've done in the summer. How on earth we've headed into a season having only one striker is criminal. There was so much over-reliance on Rodri last season, it was unreal. And we've headed into, after the summer, with not signing anyone to help rotate Rodri. They made over £100 million in the summer. And they went cheap. And this is what happens. You have an ageing team, struggling and plagued with injuries, struggling in difficult games. The only grey City have got here is that there's still plenty of time left in this game. And I'll die on this hill. Leading by 2 goals is a position you want to be in. But it's also the most dangerous of scores with so long left in the game. Man City scramble a goal from somewhere. I'll add Sporting look like they're most likely to score next. But if Man City scramble a goal in the next 5 minutes, what does Sporting do? Do you continue to attack and come forward, or do you decide to sit on it and absorb pressure? At this point, Sporting have got nothing to lose. That'll be a throw-in for Manchester City. So City just slowly starting to get a grip onto the game. Gundogan's out warming up. Doku's out warming up. De Bruyne's out warming up. Ake's out warming up. You've got to chuck these players on sooner rather than later. I don't get how you go from playing a really good game in the first half to this. Here's Foden to Rico Lewis. He bursts forward. So this is my problem I have. Rico Lewis goes down. Is there going to be a free kick for Man City on the edge of the penalty area? Pedro's given the yellow card. It was never a free kick. Just like Sporting's was never a penalty. That was never a free kick for Manchester City. It's shoulder to shoulder. The referee has lost the plot. How is that a free kick? I'm not complaining. It's a free kick in a good position for City, but it's never a free kick. Like the penalty, it was just never a penalty. So coming together. Football is a physical game, and I'm sorry if you're giving 3 kicks for that and penalties for Sporting, the game is done. You can't make contact with anybody. Shocking. Absolutely shocking referee. I don't understand. In the first half, he weren't giving them and they were the correct decisions. In the second half, he just decided, I'm going to start giving them. Sporting know the importance here of trying to defend this free kick. Pretty centre to goal for City. Does it suit a right foot of this, you'd think? Foden stood over this. Nunes has stood over this. It's going to be Foden with the left foot deflection and over the top for the crossbar and a corner for Manchester City. When things aren't going your way. Nunes to take the corner then. It's deep. Looking for Haaland. Can't win the header. Savinho can win the header. Headed clear, and Sporting want to think about the counter-attack. Cut off well by City. Here's Kovacic. Gives the ball to Savinho. That's a terrible, terrible ball in. Why are the changes not being made? That's lovely pressing and lovely work from Rico Lewis, and that should be a free kick. No? More of a free kick than what was before. Here's Rico Lewis. Gives the ball to Savinho. Really, his back's against the wall now for Sporting. This is where you need fresh legs on. As that shot comes in from Savinho and it's over the top of the crossbar. Fresh legs need to go on now. You got 30 minutes to scramble something from this game. I stressed the importance in my preview that this isn't just Man City losing and Manchester City giving 3 points to Sporting. Sporting are a team in the top 8. This result has devastating impacts on Manchester City's league progress in the Champions League. We don't finish in the top 8. We have to play an extra 2 games in the Champions League. So already on top of the extra 2 games that we're playing, so it's an extra 4 games if we don't finish in the top 8. It is well within Man City's best interest to finish in the top 8. So we hit the hour mark. I don't get why changes aren't being made. Another effort from Savinho. It's not clicking for Savinho tonight. And it's not clicking for City either. The game management from Manchester City in this last month or so has been awful. Mixed's comment made me laugh there. Here's Josko Gvardiol. I'm sorry, but if I can see that things aren't clicking and things aren't right, I'm not questioning Pep Guardiola because I think he's the best manager in the world. But if we keep this team out that's we've got out at the moment, we will lose this game. So I don't understand that once City have been forced onto the back foot and they've managed to regain some control, why you wouldn't look towards the creative attacking talents that they've got on the bench and be chucking them on whilst you've still got time to sort things out. Here's Matheus Nunes. It's just not quite clicking for him either. Sporting players are celebrating a good bit of defending like they've just scored a goal. They're playing their hearts out. It's Ruben Amorim's last game in charge at home. They want this. They're up for this. What are Manchester City doing about it? Here's Rico Lewis then for Manchester City. They just need to muster up. They need something. I mean, Kovacic was connecting them passes in the first half. It's whacked clear by Sporting here. Luis Diaz has just given Liverpool the lead against Bayer Leverkusen. Here's Savinho. He has a shot. It's blocked. It's just not clicking for City. Here's Bernardo then to Kovacic. Back into the channel. Bernardo, something's got to give. Blocked effort. Man City is shouting for a penalty. He wants handball, Bernardo Silva. I've not seen a replay, but the fact that I didn't appeal in the first place tells me what I need to know. That's a poor clearance from Sporting. Here is Phil Foden then to Rico Lewis, Savinho. It's pedestrian, it's too slow. Put a ball into the box. Here's Rico Lewis, and it's just one pass too many. You've got to put your foot through it. Put your foot through it. I think the referee's been told to check the board here. He stopped the play mid-play. Yeah, he stopped the ball. Now, that's quite serious. When you stop the play... When the ball's not gone out, it is handball, that. His arm's up. I mean, to be fair, does he have anywhere to put his arm when he's coming in? I think in the Premier League that's not given, and I think in the Champions League it will be given. So, referee's been told to go over to the monitor. This should be overturned. Should be a penalty for Manchester City. And I don't need to state the obvious, but I'm going to anyway. They've got to score the penalty. Penalty. I'm not too sure this will be given in the Premier League, but in the Champions League, anything that hits the arm in the penalty area, they normally give, in particular if it's out stretched away from the body. I don't see where he can put his arm. Yeah, penalties given. Right, need to score. Haaland. And Bernardo Silva's pushing everybody out of the way. Manchester City are looking too relaxed for me. Haaland should be grabbing that ball, putting it on the spot. Everyone into position, right from Hastings saying, let's get this going. Saying to them, not only are we scoring this goal, we mean business and we want to come back into this game. Need to get on with it. Time of the essence. So it will be Erling Haaland to take. Need to score. Got to score. Goalkeeper just trying to delay Erling Haaland taking the penalty, trying to play some mind games here. I'm sorry, if I'm Erling Haaland, you just put all your power through this. You just whack the ball as hard as you can and you say, goalkeeper wants to make a stop, then it's going to hurt to make the stop. Got to score then, Erling. Got to score. Whistles ring out round the stadium. Seamus says, put it low and hard. A good tactic. Haaland then, from the spot. Haaland's missed. He's hit the crossbar. He's ballooned the ball there, Haaland, right onto the crossbar. It's top of the crossbar, outward play for a goal kick. First thing you've got to do is you put the shot on target. I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. No, the keeper didn't go the right way. It was nowhere near it. Haaland puts it on the underside of the crossbar. It's a near perfect penalty. I said go with power, but Erling Haaland's one of the best finishers of the football. Obviously, priority number one is you put your shot on target. It's a shot off target. It's just about sums Manchester City's evening up. Savinho just can't get past his man. Why are the changes not being made? Only reason I can think that you don't want to make the changes is you just think the game's gone. So you don't see the point in running the risk of sending players on for a lost situation. But I feel like that'll take the stuffing out of Manchester City, and it's just really, really poor. What's been a real hard week, it's been a pretty poisonous week. Any of you guys follow the stuff that's happened on social media and what people are saying? It's hard enough at the best of times. Everyone's always disagreeing and making comments about things. You get people commenting saying you can't criticise the team Can't criticise Pep Guardiola for everything that he's done for the team. Do you remember when we were playing in League One, etc., etc.? You get others who've got very much a sense of entitlement in there and stuff. It just becomes very hostile. Savinho has a shot saved by the keeper. I think that's the perfect word to describe it. It becomes poisonous and very hostile in the City environment. And from my point of view, from a content creating point of view for covering Manchester City, it makes things 10 times worse. You know, having to sit down, digest, have a look at what we're looking at, trying to analyse things, and you know, I'm as positive as I can be. I was uninspired on Saturday for the game against Bournemouth, apart from them last 10 minutes. First half in this game, I thought we was all right. We looked pretty sharp. We looked fresh. We looked pretty good. That's a crazy 4-minute spell in the second half, really taken the stuffing out of Manchester City, and they've just not managed this second half at all. They've managed it really poorly. I don't know if it's due to a lack of leadership, lack of quality on the pitch, a lack of preparation. Is there something Pep could be doing more? Some of the coaches and the stuff could be doing more? I don't really have the answer. The only thing I can critique is the transfer strategy, which didn't make sense at the time that it happened in the summer, and it makes no sense right now. The yellow cards out, there's more pushing and shoving going on, and Manchester City just need to not get involved in the game that the Sporting want to play. They want to rough and tough Manchester City through, and City have just got to stick with and see what they can find. You see, PJ, I'd like to say it's a good time for Kevin De Bruyne to get some minutes, but he's not. If Kevin De Bruyne was being brought on, he should have been brought on 15 minutes ago. Anyway, guys, I know there's not much to like, but I'm aiming for 100 likes. We're 44 away, so I'd appreciate any help towards that. Do subscribe, and do check out today's video sponsor, SofaScore. Cross comes in from City. It beats everybody and out again for a goal kick. Not clicking this for City. Not worked. It's a game that they had full control of at 1-0. I mean, even Sporting are chucking subs on. I'll tell you what, guys, these performances carry on for the rest of this month. This is going to be a very difficult season for City. I saw somebody leave it in the chat before, so I apologise for not replying at the time. I've had quite a lot of people interacting, which is brilliant to see all of you guys. So a couple of things slipped through the net that I see I'm not able to read, but I did make a mental note of what was said. This form continues from Manchester City. And this goes on till the end of this month, and we have negative results against Brighton, Spurs, and Liverpool. God forbid a negative result against Feyenoord in the Champions League as well. But if things head south for Manchester City, we're no longer looking at wanting to try and win Premier League trophies. You're looking towards Manchester City scrambling to try and make the top four, because the gaps at the top get reduced. And, one or two bad results, and you go from being really comfortable at the top to being fifth. And the way Man City are playing right now smells of Manchester City slipping down the league table if this continues. I don't understand why Man City are not making any changes. Jeremy Doku's going to be brought on, I reckon, for Savinho. It's not been great from Savinho today. Andy, I think you're spot on. It was just a hit and hope. Ilkay Gundogan's going to come on. Why are you not chucking Kevin De Bruyne on if we're going to go down this route? Why are we twisting with 14 minutes remaining when we're 3-1 down? Savinho and Bernardo are the ones that come off. And see Doku and Gundo come on. I got what you mean, Andrew. He has, yeah. Rather Kevin De Bruyne would be brought on right now than Gundogan, but here we are. I'm telling you, De Bruyne is not fit. I don't know why they've made him travel. I don't know why they've... I don't get it. I really don't get it. I think Simpson per se has really struggled in this game, as well as Gyokeres has got a perfect chance here to seal the deal. He misses. Good save from Ederson. And that's out for a corner. That should have been that'd have been the 3 points wrapped up there for Sporting. I mean, this result now makes things very interesting between Man City and Man United for the 2 games that we've got them in the Premier League. Ruben Amorim will feel like he's got a number on Pep Guardiola, a psychological advantage. Corner comes in from Sporting, headed clear by Manchester City. Ricochets around once, twice. Have committed many players forward here, and a good block from City in the end. Goes down, and is that another penalty? It's another penalty for Sporting. Matheus Nunes penalised this time. Man City can't believe that a penalty is being given against Matheus Nunes. He's been booked. Let's have a look at this one. So City managed to get it clear. Given away by Matheus Nunes. Bursts into the penalty area. He's holding him. Let's have a look. I mean, the initial contact comes outside the penalty area. I'm sorry. I am sorry. If football's a physical game, he grabs his arm and lobs himself to the ground. Tom Daly would be happy with that. 10 out of 10. Oh, he's holding my arm. I'm going to throw myself to the ground now as Gyokeres has got a perfect chance here for a penalty. And there you go, 4-1. That's how you score a penalty. Horror show from Manchester City this evening. They've self-destructed and then some. This performance deserves to be criticised. This has been one of the worst self-destructions that I've seen from Manchester City in a very long time. I would put this up there as one of the worst performances that I've seen from Manchester City under Pep Guardiola. This has got all the makings of a very similar season to Manchester City's first season under Pep. It has been nothing short of inept. Nothing short of inept. Wow, Man City's first time conceded 4 in a Champions League game since 2016. Julia asking what percent. Ederson's not a great penalty saver. I don't like that the commentator just said Sporting Lisbon 4, Manchester City 1. The name's Sporting Clube de Portugal, not Sporting CP. Gundogan gives the pass away there. Good sliding challenge. Makes bad contact there, Gundogan. It is Sporting. It could be worse. You can't go shoulder to shoulder. He might give a penalty, Matheus. Has he not just handballed that? Oh. Nearly 5. City all over the place here. Why is he bringing on Kevin De Bruyne? Seven minutes remaining. The game's done and dusted. A player that's been incredibly injury prone this season and last season. If you bring Kevin De Bruyne on, why don't you bring him on 30 minutes ago when there's still a chance of salvaging something from the game? Why do you bring him on now? Kevin De Bruyne comes on and then 2 minutes in sits down and picks up another long-term injury. What's the point? The penalty from Haaland, the decision-making from Pep with the substitutes, it's been all over the place from City this evening. I think everybody at Manchester City needs to have a serious, long, hard look at themselves on the way back from Lisbon tonight. Literally need to have a good, long, hard look about what they want to achieve from the season and what they're actually doing and performing, because it's just poor. I feel a bit sorry for Hugo Viana. Hugo Viana must be watching this thinking, Jesus, I have got a job and a half on my hands from next summer. Because to me, the only way Manchester City can salvage this is through transition. You've got to be ruthless in the summer. I'm talking like 4, 5, 6 players out and 4... well, it depends what business we do in January, but 4, 5, 6 players brought in. It needs new blood, new energy in the team, because it's just pedestrian. PJ, the problem is, what do I suggest for it to get better? It can't get better until January. Man City have just got to stick with this till January in the hope that they're somewhere within touching distance in the Champions League and Premier League. My biggest problem is we didn't deserve anything against AFC Bournemouth on Saturday. They deserved to be losing this game by 4-1. And we didn't even play bad in the first half. The second half has been atrocious. As I said, we can point towards injuries and bad luck, but there's points where you push away from bad luck. You look at it and you've just got to say that this is poor. I don't want Pep Guardiola coming out after this game saying Manchester City put in a really good performance, he'll defend his players. I want him to come out and say that what it was horrific. Telling you right now, City continue playing like this. This November is going to be very difficult. And it's going to be a long month. Brighton away is not easy. Spurs at home's not easy. Feyenoord at home's not easy. And Liverpool away is not easy. If City come out of all them games with no wins, where do you go? I feel sorry for all the fans that have travelled out to Lisbon as well to watch this. Spending so much of their hard-earned money and all of their time and stuff to follow the club through thick and thin across the country and around Europe. For a team just to turn... Do you know what I mean? The players have got to have a serious, long, hard look at themselves. A real serious, long, hard look at themselves. I know Pep Guardiola says he likes a small squad, he likes it to be thin, but there's got to be a point where you've got to be prepared to adapt your own likings and your own philosophy. You're playing more games this season than ever before. How on earth do you go into a season with the most games you're ever going to play in a season and go in with a smaller squad than the previous season? How do you allow that to happen? I do also wonder to myself, because no one's really asked the question, so I'll just put it out there. How much energy does Pep Guardiola have left in him? What does he have left to achieve? Because the team needs new ideas. It needs, literally, I don't like using the word transition, but it needs transition. It needs aging players taking out of the team, replacing with fresh, new players, younger players, with more ideas put in there. Pep Guardiola's contract running down. We need a decision sooner rather than later. Either commit or announce that you're not coming in, you're not renewing. Decision needs to be made sooner rather than later. Because otherwise you're left in limbo. It's what we've got right now. You're left in limbo. You don't know if Pep's in charge next year. I don't know if Pep's in charge next year. Man City were happy to keep it a secret that our sporting director was leaving. Bit of a reality check tonight for Manchester City. If we didn't already know that, I'm sure we already did. City need a boost. As I said about Pep Guardiola before, we need a decision from him one way or the other. Pep New Deal might just be the spurring that City need once we get past the international break. Are we going to rant after the game? Probably not. I know we're losing 4-1, but this is one of them games where I've not really learnt anything from it. It's just I've not learnt anything. Kevin De Bruyne's ball in is just poor. All the teething problems that Man City have had there have all been on show throughout the season. So there's nothing new here that surprises me. The self-implosion surprises me. I think the referee's been really poor, but I don't think the referee being poor is to blame for this result. You take away the 2 penalties for Sporting and the 1 penalty for Man City, which we ultimately missed, and Man City still lose this game. I don't want to sit here and say that we've lost today because it was because of the referee. Well, it's not because of the referee. We lost today because Sporting CP wanted to win this game. And we didn't. That's a big problem. And it was the same attitude against Bournemouth. I didn't get the feeling that Man City really wanted to win that game. It's a big problem, that. Big problem. As Julia said before, complacency, maybe it's a factor. You know, these players have been there, won everything. Like, what motivation do the players have? That's where you need fresh, new ideas, different blood coming in. Players who haven't won big trophies before, who want to win big trophies. Bruno Guimaraes, £100 million release clause in June. Why is it not being paid? Sort your midfield problem out. You know, he wants to win the Champions League. He wants to win the Premier League. You know, somebody who's really motivated, an engine driver in the middle. A bit of leadership. Someone who's really ready to just grab the game by the neck and just shake things up a little bit. Too pedestrian from City. Far too pedestrian. They've allowed... They've freshened things up under Pep. Second season, they've freshened things up. And over the course of the next 5 years, they've just allowed and neglected the team. Players have got older and older. It's been great from the short-term success for things. But, you know, you're left here transitioning. It's a transition that's going to take time. And for a team as good as Man City and the amount that's been invested by City, we're missing Rodri, as Spike says, we're missing Rodri big time. But for a team as well prepared, well run, and with everything available to us, how are we relying so much on one player? You take one player out of Man City and they just can't compete. And the next issue you have is ACL injury for Rodri is a very serious injury. There's no guarantees that he comes back the same player. Anyway, you'll be pleased to hear the final whistle has gone. We don't have to put ourselves up through that again. JSGC is away this weekend, so I thankfully don't have to be put through this again on Saturday. I'm hoping that I'm the bad luck charm, that on Saturday we pick up a great result against Brighton, we put ourselves back on track in the Premier League, and we can just start to push from there. It was always going to be difficult. Away game against Spurs in the Cup, we lose. Away game against Brighton in the Premier League's a difficult game. We lose. Champions League away against Sporting CP. We lose. The big difference is we led in this game. We controlled this game. We didn't find that killer second goal. We allowed Sporting a route back into this game. Some decisions go against us. Poor bits of defending. We go to sleep at the wrong time. And Sporting put us to the sword. Really poor tonight from Manchester City. Really poor. The travelling fans deserve better. The coaching and the players need to really have a good, long, hard look at themselves on the plane back and really ask themselves what do they want to achieve from this season. Starting on Saturday against Brighton. Really poor against Bournemouth on Saturday. To follow that up with an even worse performance today, to me, isn't good enough. And if this continues into Saturday, to me, it becomes unforgivable. And it's very clear that things aren't clicking for Manchester City. The lack of changes at the correct time, the lack of motivation, they're falling asleep at the wrong times, they can't cope without injuries. As Dalton says, it is concerning. It is concerning. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up, do subscribe, do check out my social media links in the description. Finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor brought to you by SofaScore. Thank you very much to SofaScore for providing the sponsor for today's video. Do go and check them out. It does help to support the future content created here on my channel. I have my match reaction up for you guys in the next hour, where I'll give more of my thoughts from this game and looking towards the Brighton game as well at the weekend. And we will be back very soon for more content. So thanks for watching, guys. Do have a great rest of your evening. Probably stay off social media if I were you guys, and we'll push from there. Thanks for watching. Peace. Ciao for now.